This is what you've been waiting for. It's a whiteout week. I'm so glad that this week is finally here. Not gonna lie, it's already hard enough talking to myself in these videos, but the first three opponents did not help. The stage is set. Penn State versus Oregon, whiteout. It's a nighttime kickoff. It's going to be number 3 Penn State versus number 6 Oregon. If you're a Penn State fan, I'm sure you're really excited for this game, and I'm sure you're also nervous. I have both of those feelings as well. Today we're going to talk about the ramifications of this game, my overall thoughts and how I'm feeling going into it, what I think we need to do to win this game, and then I'll end off with my score prediction. Just real quick, I want to show you this 1986 Penn State National Championship Coca-Cola bottle that I got this weekend. I thought it was really cool, and there's a lot of them out there, not really that hard to get or that expensive. Regardless, let's set the stage for this whiteout matchup against Oregon on Saturday. Obviously, this game has a lot riding on it. It's the whiteout, we're playing a big opponent, so that's always going to be a high stakes game, but it's different this time around. Both teams are ranked inside the top 10. It was almost a top 5 matchup, and in the coaches poll, it is a top 5 matchup, but in the AP poll, they put Oregon at number 6. It's close enough to being a top 5 matchup. And this is the biggest whiteout since probably that 2017, 2018, 2019 timeframe. And I don't think it's crazy to say that this is one of James Franklin's biggest games he's ever had at Penn State. Aside from the playoff games last year, I can't remember many more games that were much bigger than this one. And just for context, I like James Franklin. I know he takes a lot of heat from fans, and at times, yeah, it's deserved. And a lot of times, it's definitely way overboard. He's now in, year 12 or so. He finally has alignment from the top down in terms of the administration, the athletic department, giving him the facilities, the NIL money. It's all there now. Then you make a move this offseason to go get Ohio State's defensive coordinator, Jim Knowles, and make him the highest paying defensive coordinator in college football history. On top of that, you have a 4th-year guy in Drew Allar, his 3rd year as a starting quarterback. He was a 5-star in high school, projected as an NFL draft pick right now. We went and got good wide receivers out of the transfer portal. We retained 2 of the best running backs in college football who easily could have declared for the NFL draft. You have a veteran offensive line, mostly made up of seniors, where most of them, if not all of them, are going to get drafted. Then you bring back Denai Dennis Sutton, Tony Rojas, AJ Harris, Zakee Wheatley, Dom DeLuca. We have Andy Kotelnicki as an offensive coordinator, one of the top offensive coordinators in the game. You have an assistant coaching staff that is one of the best assistant coaching staffs in college football. And there's no real team this year, like there has been in past years, that is just the clear dominant team that no one's going to beat. If we can't beat Oregon or Ohio State this year, when is it going to happen? We really have everything in our favor. It's a home game. It's a whiteout at night. Oregon has to travel across the country. All the stars have aligned for this game. This is the most talented roster that James Franklin has ever had in his time at Penn State, or really just his time as a coach ever. And to take it even further, this is an insane list of recruits that Penn State has coming to this game. I'm not sure the exact number, but somewhere around 100 or 80 so plus of the top recruits in the United States. A lot of 5-star talent, ton of 4-star talent littered all over coming to this game. All that to say, this is one of, and if not, it's up there as one of the most important games for James Franklin at Penn State. I don't even want to go here, but I'll just briefly mention, even if we were to lose this game, no, the sky hasn't fallen and the season is not over, but the stakes for every other game get that much higher. Indiana later in the year, who looks really good right now, have to play at Iowa, have to play at Ohio State. But really, we have to win this game. It's time to win the big game. We have every piece to do it. Let's talk about general thoughts, general feelings going into the game. Both of these teams are untested right now. Oregon has played more, if you want to call it legitimate competition, but none of them are really that good of teams. They've played Montana State, Oklahoma State, Oregon State, and Northwestern. And no disrespect, but none of those teams are very good. Definitely better competition than what we had played, which it's not hard, but not anything crazy, not a big level up. But I honestly don't know how to feel going into this game. Personally, there are so many question marks to me because we haven't really seen what this Penn State team is this year. With Oregon, from what I've been able to see, they look very similar to last year, and they have that same identity on offense. They're a fast-paced offense that can beat you throwing the ball, they can beat you running the ball, and they can beat you with the quarterback scrambling as well. I don't know how else to describe their offense other than fast. They're just fast all over the place. And it was the same thing last year. Oregon's quarterback is Dante Moore. He was a 5-star quarterback coming out of high school. He went to UCLA at first, but played a pretty limited amount there and didn't look great there either. Then he sat behind Dylan Gabriel last year for Oregon, and so far this year, he looks pretty good. Now, watching him, there's times where he makes some great plays, like a really nice on-the-run throw, and then there's times where he makes some pretty big mistakes. And he's made those mistakes in games this year that it hasn't costed him, but it would cost him if he made those type of mistakes against Penn State. This is his first year as a starter, and so to me, the storyline is really how is he and how is this Oregon team going to handle coming into the Penn State whiteout? I think there's a big piece that a lot of people overlook or don't think about, but remember that Oregon is traveling all the way across the country, changing time zones. They're staying in Altoona and then have to play a veteran Penn State team at night in the most intimidating college football environment there is. And that's a huge advantage for us. So I'm going to be looking to see how Dante Moore handles that. It's going to be loud. It's going to be hard to hear. But environment aside, I'm really excited for this game, but I'm not going to lie. And I would be lying if I said I'm not somewhat nervous. And it goes back to what I've said before of just not really knowing who this Penn State team is yet. Like, they're going to come out on offense and look different than they have those first 3 games. I know they will, but I don't know what that looks like. Does it look like it did in the Oregon game last year where Drew's slinging the ball around a bunch and the run game is unstoppable? We don't know. And then even with Oregon, they lost a lot of guys, but they did reload pretty good in the transfer portal. And I wouldn't say they look bad at any moments, but they're playing inferior opponents and just beating up on them. I know we weren't able to do that. Most teams are able to. And so it's hard for me to really judge them off of that. And that's why it's pretty nerve-wracking going into this game because you don't know what you're going to get. And it's really tough, honestly, as a Penn State fan. Like, I don't want to say this, but it's hard to imagine. Okay, when's the last time we've beaten a team of this status? Notre Dame, Ohio State, Michigan in past years. And I think we have a great shot at this game. But, I mean, I'm not going to lie and say that it's not hard to imagine us winning because it just hasn't happened in so long in a game like this for us Penn State fans. So when I think about us winning this game, it's just so hard to wrap my head around because I haven't felt that in forever. Yeah, we had those playoff wins. We were expected to beat SMU and Boise. I think they were great teams. But you guys know what I'm talking about, like Notre Dame, Ohio State, now Oregon. When's the last time we won a game like that? It's been a while. I believe in this team. If you've listened to my other videos, we were definitely being vanilla on offense and defense, which defense looked really good, but we don't know the full capabilities of this offense. And so I've seen Andy Kotelnicki call good games. I've seen Drew play well. I've seen Nick play well. I have hope and I trust these guys. You know, maybe I should, maybe I shouldn't, but I trust them and I feel like we can win this game going into it. And as I said, I am a little nervous. There's a mix of those feelings as there always is with any big game, but this one's really got a lot riding on it. And probably because all the pieces are there for us to win. There's no excuses. This game is the opportunity for not only James Franklin to change the narrative of can't win the big game, always loses to highly ranked opponents, that narrative that everyone has spewed for the past however many years. It's also an opportunity for Drew to prove it to himself, to the fan base, to the team, to NFL draft scouts that he can do it too. And for him to change the narrative on himself and change the narrative of Penn State not being able to win the big game. This Penn State team gets the opportunity to make our own narrative. And if we lose, then that's the narrative we painted and continuously paint. And for Drew, like that's been the same thing with him. Everyone has been saying that about him. He can't play well in these big games. You look at how he played against Michigan in the past, Ohio State in the past, in that Notre Dame game, he's never played his best in any of those games. He's actually been pretty bad in those games. But they have the chance to change all of that this weekend. One of the things to me that's going to decide this game and one of the biggest storylines is which version of Drew Allar are we going to get? Are we going to get that confident, cocky, I'm better than you, Drew? Or are we going to get the I'm scared to make a mistake, Drew? Because those are two very different versions of Drew. They're drastically different. Like we know what Drew's floor is and we know what he can be when he plays good. I think Blue White Illustrated mentioned this and I totally agree. We don't know what Drew's ceiling is. We've never seen him play to really win a game and seen his ceiling of him taking over a game and just cutting it loose. I don't think he knows what his ceiling is. I don't think anyone knows what his ceiling is. We definitely know what his floor is. We've seen that. So what Drew are we going to get? Because if we can get that version of Drew that's in his zone, I 100% take us to win this game. I know there's other factors like how the defense plays and stopping that offense of Oregon's, but if someone were to tell me before this game, like Drew is going to play one of his best games, I take Penn State to win all day. I believe in Drew. I do think as a fan base, we have to accept who he is as a player. We've been waiting around for him to just turn into this insanely elite college quarterback that's going to go out and win us all these games. And I think it's at the point in his career when, like, we know that is not the type of player he is. I still think there's another tier that he can reach in terms of how good he is as a college quarterback. But waiting around for him to just turn into this elite 5-star guy that's going to be the number 1 overall pick because he's looked amazing at Penn State and won us all these games and led us single-handedly to a national championship, I don't think that's realistic. And that's not me saying I don't think he's going to have a great rest of the season and play really, 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 really well in the rest of the games. But that and saying he's going to be this elite, amazing quarterback that's just going to win us all these games are two very different things. And it's honestly a different conversation. Next, with Nick Singleton at running back, just get the ball and run. No overthinking this game. We need the passing game and the running game to be firing on all cylinders. We have Katron, who's been playing great, and I expect him to continue that. And at wide receiver, definitely need guys to step up this game. Like, more than one guy. They don't all need to go for over 100 yards, but they all need to contribute. Same thing with the tight ends in the receiving game. Luke Reynolds, I expect him to have a big game. But this Oregon team is a team that Penn State has to go out and play like they're trying to score points. And I know that sounds funny, because aren't they always trying to score points? Of course. But sometimes we try to do so really conservatively. And this is the game where you just throw it all out the window. Like, let's just go drive down the field and score. And I know that sounds so basic, but that's just how I feel. I actually feel good about Penn State on defense in this game. As I've said before, I'm not the kind of guy that is analyzing the film and understands like all the schemes and X's and O's, but I just get the feeling that Jim Knowles, as our defensive coordinator, he is a huge upgrade from Tom Allen last year, and Jim Knowles has faced this Oregon offense twice last year. And I think he's faced this Oregon offensive coordinator multiple times in his career besides those 2 games last year. He knows what we're going up against, and I don't know if you guys see these videos of him at practice. I'll try to pop one up real quick, but he just gives me like mad scientist vibes, and I just don't see this guy not being prepared for this game. Franklin talked about it in his press conference where he said he didn't think that we had as many tools in our belt as we needed on defense to win that game against Oregon. We were playing man coverage against Oregon last year, and this year it'll probably be more of a mix between man and zone. This Oregon offense, like I said, is fast, and I don't think we can give up as many points as we did last year by any means, because it's going to be hard to score that many points on our end. If we give up 45, 48 points, that's just going to be a hard game for us to win. We 100% need to see a better defensive game out of this team than last year. And yeah, I mean, you guys know the offense. Like, I don't know how to put it any simpler. We just need them to score points. But final closing thoughts around feelings headed into this game. Despite what we've seen on offense in the first 3 games, we know the talent that we have on this offense. I know we don't have Tyler Warren, but, you know, we've seen Drew play good. We've seen Nick play good. Katron play good. I feel good about the receivers. I feel good about the tight ends. Veteran offensive line that we have seen play really good last year. We have the best possible setup to win this game. And at the end of the day, as fans, like, we just got to trust that Penn State is going to be ready for this game. Coming off a bye week, they're going to show up and they're going to show the whole country why they're a top 3 team, if not the number 1 team in the country. All right, getting into my prediction for this game, I'm going to take Penn State to win this game. Penn State 27, Oregon 24. I don't see this game being as high scoring as it was last year. I don't think Penn State's going to let up as many points, and I also don't think our offense is going to score as many points as last year. So I got Penn State winning this one. Biggest game in the season to date. It's going to be a fun one. It's going to be interesting regardless how the game goes. It's going to be a lot to talk about. Make sure to come back next week for a game recap, and I really hope it's a positive one. But let me hear what you guys think the score prediction is going to be down in the comments, and let me know why you think that's going to be the case. Please don't forget to give the video a like if you enjoyed it. That really helps. Also, subscribe if you enjoy the content. I would really appreciate that. But it's time to go beat the Ducks in a whiteout at Beaver Stadium. Let's go win this thing.